make the illusion of being put together.
Hello.
I love it. I'm obsessed. It looks so good.
Hello, how are you?
Oh my gosh, I'm great. The light, like the sun is still rising, so it's still not like perfect, but it's only going to get better when I have the other light on. You know, it's real life. I'm sure it's fine.
You look so chic.
Well, it's 7:30 in the morning, and you're the only person who'll get me out of bed to try and look chic for the day.
I was going to say, you just look very Parisian. Are you in Paris?
I am in Paris. It's so much fun. Like, I'm having the best time.
What is your life? I'm sorry. Like,
It's so good. I've also been catching up with Mathilde from Nestled. I know.
When I saw you guys like the photograph that you posted, I just like had this moment of being like, oh, and then like it just took me so long to like believe that you were in the same place. I was like, because it's like, oh, I'm just scrolling through Instagram. I was like, wait, what? Yeah, and I was like, oh my god. Yeah. I'm so pleased for you both.
Yeah, no, it's been really fun. She lives in Paris with her boyfriend in the suburbs, and I just like messaged one night and was like, hey, we're going to go to this like jazz club. It's like a random Thursday night. I was like,
so cool.
I was like, you're welcome to come. And she was like, yeah, down, I'll bring my boyfriend too. And it was a weeknight, and they both had work the next morning, and the first set started at like 10 p.m. And, you know, she's such a homebody as well, and so it was like a really big deal.
Oh, I'm so impressed. Like,
yeah.
You're basically just living your like Emily in Paris life, it sounds like.
Yes, basically. But don't say that, because apparently that's forbidden here.
Of course it is.
Anyway, can we please talk about what you're wearing? Because your jumper, I am lusting over it.
We should definitely talk about it, because I don't know how much longer I'm going to be able to wear it for. Because it's not super hot today, but it's warm enough that like this is a short time situation.
Yeah.
But I can finally show off. I mean, like, and I've shown it on Instagram, but I can finally talk about my secret test knit that I did for Kutovakika for her book, which is coming out soon.
Oh my god, that is huge. Firstly, congratulations on getting it. That's amazing. Secondly, it looks amazing, and your colour. I remember I was with Sarah when we were doing like the Garntopia order for the yarn, and Sarah's colour choices and colour mapping for it. Perfection. Looks amazing.
It was quite an ordeal, wasn't it? Like, I feel like you really had to carry me through that one, because I was very, I don't know, I was really indecisive, and I wasn't sure if I was going to pull the trigger on it, and then well, you gave me the confidence to just do it.
Well, on top of it, like, you don't have the benefit of being able to like look at the colours in person. So you're like scrolling between tabs, you're trying to understand the nuances. You can't just like hold them together and see what they look like together. So you're like doing little pipette drops, like in.
There was a lot of I took a screen grab of like all of the different colours. Yeah, it's like just like a sample color, and tried to like put them all together to be like, see if that would work. And yeah, like I think it worked out a lot better than I thought it was going to.
Oh my gosh. And then I also remember the disaster of then like going to do the order, and then they didn't have one of the colors that we had decided on.
Yeah, there was one that I had to order from somewhere else.
But it worked out. It looks great.
But I got them all. So yeah. So I feel like I should talk a bit about it.
Yeah.
So this is obviously Colorwork yoke garment that is part of Kutovakika's book, which is coming out through, it's like a Lana publishing book. It's called Knits to Wear or something. And I test knit this earlier in the year, but it was a secret one. So I have been wearing it plenty, but haven't been able to show it off. It's like a worsted gauge, so it's quite chunky, and like one of probably the most luxurious thing I did about this was, rather than do a worsted yarn or even like a DK and a fingering, which is what I think Kutovakika did for hers, is like a DK weight yarn and then a mohair to get sort of a worsted gauge. I ended up doing a strand of fingering and 2 strands of mohair. And the rationale there was that I'm going to have to buy 1 ball of each of the contrast colours. Sorry. By each of 1 ball of mohair of each of the contrast colours anyway. So I might as well use up as much of the mohair as possible. It meant that, I probably had to buy, obviously lots of mohair for the main base colour. And so, yes, this was, a real luxury in terms of the outlay because I was spending a lot of money on mohair and, anyway. But I'm so validated. I love it so much. It was so, Moorish. And it, obviously, because it's so chunky, it came together so quickly. And now it is, the perfect... It's so light. And I think that was, the thing that I'm increasingly valuing, I'm realising, is, light, airy, loose knits. And, not so much loose, but, not, hefty things that are going to, hold you down. And because this has so much mohair, it's chunky but lofty. And it's just... I just love it so much.
No, I can, feel... I can imagine I can feel it through the camera. And I know exactly what you mean by it feeling really light. I was talking about this with Matilda over the weekend, and my favourite combination of yarn is a strand of mohair and a strand of fingering. And I can imagine if you have an extra strand of an extra strand of mohair, you do get that thickness, but without added bulk or actual chunk. It's just lofty and airy, and it's such a beautiful texture. And I think especially back home where sometimes otherwise it can just feel too warm or too intense. It's such a nice fabric. I am dying to make it. I actually wanted to buy the yarn for it whilst I was here. Whilst I was in Norway. But I have bought too many things, and I just think that it's one of those things that I should just probably buy online from Garntopia now that I know what colours I want. So,
that's amazing. You have the luxury of having done that, so you can scope it out and then order when you're back. But I love this. I feel the one thing I will say is that this is a very simple pattern, in terms of fit. And I think not to take away from Kutovakika's designs, but I think she probably doesn't focus too much on fit and kind of relies on oversized garments. You don't, it doesn't need to be a perfect fit if it's more oversized, and she kind of goes for an oversized styling, and perhaps isn't and isn't as specific about making sure it fits really nice. There's no short rows in this. I thought about putting some in, and I asked while the test was going on, I was what's the kind of, I asked a few questions, and it was a pretty hands-off test. So it's basically work yoke, then knit straight. And
basically just the Sunday sweater by PetiteKnit. It's just you do the yoke. It's basically you do the yoke, there's no shaping or anything, and then you just carry on. And again, oversized look usually fits well. I think the benefit is, as much as the fit might not be perfect, absolutely perfected, it does mean that it's really accessible to beginners. Especially as a colorwork garment that has colors, but just looking at it, do you ever hold more than two colors at a time? Oh, you do.
Yeah. So there's a few rows, I think down here, where there was 3 colors in a row, and because I had, for each color, I had 1 fingering and 2. At one point I had 9 balls going.
Yeah.
And so I basically just had to sit on my bed and move them and have them all kind of suspended around me. And I watched an entire season of something. I feel I really strongly attribute this to Colin from Accounts. Have you watched Colin from Accounts?
No, I haven't.
Oh my God. It's really wholesome, but I just watched a whole season and did the colour work. So but that's what was necessary. But you're right, it is. But I think if you do have the confidence, or you want to give it a try, I would say that there are things that you could do to make this a better garment than it currently is.
Yeah.
And look, it was a really short test window, and it was a very hands-off test. So Yeah, I think, and I'd say, and it looks like a lot of the other designs are quite similar. It's like it's a fairly straightforward pattern with not a lot of like little things to like. It's a basic pattern, and I think if you felt confident to make some adjustments to make it fit better, I think there's definitely scope in this one. I haven't seen the other patterns, and I also haven't seen the final proof of this. Like I emailed, but I haven't heard back about so I haven't actually seen what the final pattern looks like or how it's written or what the pattern's like. But
yes. You're wearing a beautiful jumper, and that's number one.
Yes, absolutely. Sometimes I worry that it's like riding up a bit, but it's like loose enough that it's fine. But yeah. Oh, it's just, and like I made mine quite cropped. I don't know, like just like all mine quite cropped.
But whatever, we love a cropped knit. I feel like all mine end up a little bit cropped as well, just from pure impatience. I'm like, this'll do.
Oh yeah. And I call it a styling choice.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I have a few finished objects to talk about.
Yeah, oh my God.
Are you proud of me? So, okay, I made this decision. I think I'm just going to talk about my whips and my finished objects, and I'll like, you'll definitely see like the yarns I'm using in my whips to know that like I've like see some of like the peaks of things that I've bought. But I'm not going to talk about all my acquisitions in this video because it's actually going to be way too long, and I think it'll draw the focus away from like the cool jumper that you're wearing, for instance. I think is a focus in itself, and then I'll be able to talk about everything else in more detail.
Sounds
How
good.
does that sound?
All right. Let's see then.
Of course, you can ask more questions and I'll tell you everything about things, and I'll probably just end up having this video. Firstly, I just wanted to show you this top. How cute is this sweater? This is obviously not something I've knitted. It's from Sézane.
I was going to say, it's got Sézane written all over it.
It's from Sézane. It's got all the beautiful details on it. I love it.
You look so like put together.
Can I just say, Sézane in France, so much easier to find. Like, I can't stand their website. I find it really hard to navigate and get the things I want. It's so much more affordable here. Like, don't get me wrong, it's still expensive, but it's about. I think
Don't tell me this.
Everything's about 2/3 the price. Why?
Just because it's breaking my heart. Because like,
I was going to say you've done a massive order. I was like, don't do that.
No. I wish.
Surely. Anyway, as you can tell, I'm living up my very luxe life and doing a lot of shopping. Do you have? I have.
Let's see.
3 to talk about.
3 finished objects.
Yeah. Well, okay. One of them's not quite finished. It's basically finished. The first one. This finished object I should have talked about in our last video, and I just completely forgot.
What is it?
It is a beanie.
Cute.
This
great colour
is the Oslo beanie by PetiteKnit.
Very nice.
I have knitted it with that really special yarn from Patagonia that I bought. As in, I bought it from Chile, from Santiago. Yeah. But on the tag, I'll put all the details in the description below, because I did put it in my previous video where I talked about my Patagonia yarn adventures. All the yarn is sourced from Patagonia, and basically what inspired this, when I was in Patagonia, like going through some of the souvenir shops and things, I really wanted to purchase. They had some like really cute beanies with little like badges, like the little like I don't know, like patches or whatever on them.
Okay.
With like Patagonia or El Shelton or whatever on them. And I loved them, but the actual beanie sucked. Like it was just acrylic or just a really nice quality beanie. And then Jacob was like, why don't you just knit yourself one? Like that's way cooler. And I was like, Jacob, I'm so proud of you. I've taught you so well. So basically what I did is I used this, which is from the Chilean side of Patagonia yarn, this cute beanie, and I bought it because you can buy from the tourist shops. They sell like iron-on patches. I haven't tried one yet, but I've got this cute little.
Oh, it's gonna match so beautifully.
Yeah, it's a little
God,
patch, and I'm just gonna stitch it on.
That's really cute.
And then I bought this when I was in El Calafate, which is on the Argentinian side of Patagonia. So I love that.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. What about you, Miss Sarah? Do you have some finished objects or any finished objects to talk about, or should I keep going?
I have one, but it's don't hold your breath because is it deja vu or has she just made another baby blanket?
I love it. So good.
If my friends could start having babies, that would be great because I've had enough of this for a while. This is my last one that I'm planning for a little while. But I made another of the stripy baby travel rugs. This one I tried to make it kind of gender neutral. It's like a purpley blue and yellow stripe.
Yeah, cute. I like it.
Has this ever happened to you where like you've done something with multiple colours and one colour like runs out a lot faster than the others?
No, because I don't think I've done any garments where I'm meant to use equal amounts of both.
True. Okay. So one of my favourite things about this pattern, there's many things, is that you use up essentially like just shy of one ball of the three contrast colours. You need to dig into a second for the white, but the three others you can definitely get away with like enough. Like one ball is plenty for all of those three colours. Except I ran out of the yellow. And so I was just really like confused. I was like, I've made this a lot, so I know that the numbers are good, and it just really bothered me.
That is annoying.
So I had to do a little bit of creative, like I had to rip out a bit and redo some bits to kind of make up for the fact that I didn't have enough yellow. Anyway.
And you don't want to buy a whole new ball.
Oh my God, no, because it would have been just for like two
and
rows
also,
or something.
Then you start thinking, did I get shortchanged? But you're not sitting there measuring out your 100 meters.
Yeah, but I was like, what is going on? Anyway, that's never happened to me. I was very irked by that, but anyway, that's in the scheme of life's issues, pretty minor. But that is that's my only finished object other than this boy.
Oh well, yeah, that's a big one.
Yeah.
My next finished object is so random and so naughty.
What?
It's a Sophie shawl, an entire Sophie shawl that I've never talked about. I never talked about buying the yarn for it. Okay, so I wanted to know because, I don't know, this is maybe a little bit unethical, but you know my gripe of buying patterns from PetiteKnit and then they're all the same. Like,
yes.
It's the same pattern with like one adjustment. And
we've had the same issue with the zipper sweater, yes.
Oh, it destroys my soul. So the zipper sweater, as I've mentioned before, I have 3 zipper sweater patterns from PetiteKnit and they're all the same. The stitch counts are the same. I think I have to check to be completely honest. So the men and the women's one, exactly the same. Like extra small, small, small. Like the stitch count's identical. The only difference is the twisted rib on the female one. I can't remember for zipper sweater light if that's the same situation. But I'm pretty sure my issue was I had accidentally bought light instead of regular for the yarn choice.
Yeah.
And basically, I have too many. With Sophie scarf, the last thing I wanted to do was have Sophie scarf already and then buy Sophie shawl and for there to be no changes.
I thought they were the same. I just thought it was bigger. You just kept going for longer before you turned around.
So I did some research, like some Reddit reading, because I know I'm not the only person who has this gripe. And basically without going into like specifics, those people said the only difference is that the increases happen a little bit more quickly, like more quickly.
In the shawl?
In the shawl, so that it ends up being less skinny, if that makes sense, which makes sense. And the yarn choice is chunkier, so your gauge is bigger, so you end up with a bigger garment, right? So that's what I did. Let's say like hypothetically, if the increases are every 8 rows or whatever on the Sophie scarf, I did them hypothetically every 6 rows on the Sophie shawl.
So it increased faster. Sure.
Yeah, and then to like make it less long and make it a little bit fatter, and then I just chose yarn that I liked and then winged what fabric, which needles.
Yeah, I feel like gauge is obviously like a bit like redundant on something like that, but anyway.
Exactly. And then I landed myself with this beautiful Like, it's perfection.
Oh my God, you look so cozy.
It's the coziest, softest thing.
Oh my God.
Now, about the yarn choice. So, it's made out of Lang Cashmere Light, the entire thing. That is extremely luxurious.
But look at you. Oh my God.
It's so luxurious. And basically how this came about is when I was in Norway, every single yarn store I had gone into pretty much had a Sophie scarf, not shawl, sample. The sample, I don't know why, was just always made out of this yarn. Maybe because it meant that people would buy that yarn.
Sounds like it worked.
But the gal here does not really, she's not convinced by the necktie moment quite yet. She's not that Parisian. So I still wanted the...
like the little one?
Yeah, the little one. It's like the most soft, airy, beautiful fabric. It's got like intrinsic fluff in it because of just the way, like the weave. It's like fluffy. It knits up beautifully. It's actually perfect for this pattern. I love it. I also can understand with the Sophie scarf why one of the draw cards for the Sophie scarf, which I've never really appreciated until now, is if you have like one or two skeins of like really beautiful yarn that you really want to use up and you want to make something special without buying a whole bunch of it because it's expensive or it was a gift or whatever, it's a perfect project for it. And so I can see why buying like two like balls of Lang Cashmere the dream. Unfortunately, because I was making a shawl, I had to buy 6, which meant for something very luxe, but I'm obsessed and I'm on holiday. Sorry, there's like fluff all over my face.
Also, like if you only bought 2, it would be little and it would kind of be a waste because then you just have
a waste for me. I wouldn't wear it. So I use 6, and then little hack for anyone who hasn't made the pattern yet or doesn't know, you can make sure you use up all the yarn because you just like keep doing increases up until you get to the halfway mark of your yarn, and then you do the decreases at that point so you can use up pretty much all of it, which is what I did. And I've actually been wearing it a lot as well since making it.
You look really cozy, and I just want to, my love for a garter stitch scarf, I have already declared, but
Gal, you're going to die when you feel it in real life because it's unreal. It's the nicest fabric I've ever made.
You look, oh my gosh, it's perfect. That colour really suits you as well.
Thanks. Oh yeah, the colour. So the colour is called Eggplant, and I'll talk about it in the video of me going to Garntopia, like picking out this yarn. But I actually initially went in with the brief of wanting like a chocolate, like dark brown, and then I picked the yarn after much thinking. I actually like wasn't even going to Garntopia initially. I had like gone to another yarn shop, they didn't have it, but I went to Garntopia, which involves like another train and stuff, to get a different colour, and then they were out. Like once I got to the counter, they didn't have any more. So then I had to go back to the drawing board. But this is perfect. It's actually still like a dark brown, just with like a cool undertone, which is
which is perfect for you.
Yeah.
Nice.
I'm ready to talk about my other finished object, but it's kind of a whip. So maybe this is a good segue.
This is the perfect segue. Carry on.
Okay. So I have my Eula's Gensa, which I feel like it's so glowy on camera because of the lights, which you might not fully appreciate. It's
oh my God.
stunning. I love it. It's beautiful.
You're really in your like fluffy mohair era there.
I really am. I am loving this like super lightweight lofty fabric that you were talking about at the beginning of the video. Also, Matilda saw this in real life and she was like, oh, it looks so much nicer in real life. And I was cut. I was thinking, does everyone think this looks not that nice on camera? So just so you guys know, if you're just, in 2 minds about it, it looks amazing in real life.
What, everyone's just like quietly judging us while we're losing our minds.
Yeah, no, it's amazing. It's beautiful. It's knitted in Knitting for Olives, soft silk mohair in the colour Elderflower. The reason it's still a whip is because I'm casting off the tubular cast off for the edge.
You're not doing tubular cast off, are you? You're not doing a sewn bind off, are you?
I am. Why? Did you not?
No. I tried, and then I did like 3 stitches. I was like, this is impossible.
Look how much I've done. Oh, I don't know if you can see. I've done this.
I can appreciate that you've been far more successful than I was. I'm very impressed.
I'm only halfway, and I feel like it's not that it's breaking my soul, because, you know, we're enjoying the process. It's a journey, it's about the journey, not the destination, you know. But it just means that it's not finished yet, and I don't want to just like push myself through doing it when I really don't want to. Like, I don't want it to feel like a chore, so I just pick it up now and again and do like an inch or so. So we're still getting through. Also, there's no real way. Like, I really want to block it before wearing it, and there's no real way of me doing
Definitely.
that. So the other thing I wanted to say about it is, yes, it's a little bit cropped, but I'm figuring out, like, if I, like, once it's blocked, like, it's not really cropped, I think it's like normal cropped, but once I block it, it'll lengthen. The other thing is the sleeves were really long. Like, I had made them really long. That's a great bird. It reminds me of back home.
Yeah, he's just chilling up there.
The sleeves were a bit long, and this is going to sound weird, but I don't know if you remember me saying I changed the pattern, made a modification a little bit based on like what you had said about yours, like the cuffs being really tight, and it's meant to knit 2 together at the cuff for every stitch, and then to do a just twisted rib.
Yeah.
So instead I knitted 2 together for every second stitch, but then when I did that, I felt like it wasn't fully, like, it didn't cinch in quite enough. So I actually went back and knitted 2 together, and then had one not knit 2 together. So kind of like in between. And I think that looks perfect. And the other thing was, I had already knitted a whole cuff, and then realised that I wasn't happy with the needle size that I used, so I went back and undid it. But because it's mohair and it's really hard to unknit, I actually had to like cut off the cuff.
Oh yeah, you can't undo that.
Which I did, and I didn't think I lost any fabric because I didn't go into this bit. I only stayed like to here. But for whatever reason, now the cuffs are much shorter, and I think it's because I brought it in more. It's like made it shorter.
It's like sucked it up.
Yeah. So now it's like, to be honest, it's probably the same length as my like Sézane one, which is like not as long. Like before, it was
like bracelet length.
Yeah. So it's fine. I think it's going to be better with blocking. But once it's all blocked in, like proper finished, you'll see me wearing it for sure, because I'm really obsessed with it and I'm really excited about it.
Sorry, I'm just doing a little wardrobe change.
Yeah, fair. I'm impressed by how long you lasted.
I'm excited to see that. I'm excited for you to own it. And does that mean you won't wear it when you're like there, if you're going to wait to block it?
No, I'll still block it. I mean, to be honest, when I block things now anyway, I pretty much just make it wet and then put it on a towel in like the sun. I think I'm just concerned that because it's so much colder here, and like there aren't like super sunny spots or whatever, like in the apartment, that it won't dry. But then again, it's mohair,
like
it'll be fine.
It will dry. I think it'll dry.
The heater. I just also don't have pins to kind of like keep the shape, but I don't think it's going to matter that much.
No, that's less of a priority, I'd say.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, you have got through so much.
I know, it's wild. I think it's also because these were all whips when we last recorded, and now like this is the thing when you have a million whips, like often you feel like you're not finishing everything, and then one day you've just like
yeah. Can I show you what I'm working on?
Yeah, I was just about to ask. Do you want to tell me what the update is on that?
So I can't remember where we left off. Like I was doing last time we spoke on here, I was like, I'd started the Agnette cardigan.
Yes.
But I realised I potentially wouldn't have enough yarn.
Yeah.
And I was trying to toss up whether I should bail and do something else or like push on and just roll the dice. And then I feel like we were speaking about it afterwards, or at some point you convinced me.
Yeah, so there was that. And then I think we also might have mentioned that brioche is a bit of a learning curve as well on the podcast of like, is it worth it? It's kind of annoying And it also, I think you were saying it's a bit more yarn hungry compared to...
Yeah, for sure.
Which you didn't...
And that was what initially prompted me to worry about it, was someone said, be mindful that brioche is very yarn hungry compared to stockinette. And that's when I started doing the maths. So at some point you said, just rip it out. You said you would rip it out.
Yeah, you were saying, you're so far in that you don't want to rip it out, and you kind of were pretty far in. And I was...
But actually, in hindsight, I wasn't that far in. That's what I'm telling you.
I was an advocate for ripping it out because I remember when you first showed me that yarn, your plan was to make like an Eva cardigan or something. And I kind of like that better. And then also the brioche is annoying. And also I could see that you weren't like sold on it. So I advocated for ripping it out anyway and then just starting again.
I think you were right. I did rip it out.
I am. I just knew you needed an extra little.
And I started an Eva cardigan instead. Which was always my intention. I just thought it was too simple, but actually I think it's perfect. And yes, I think it was real sunk cost fallacy, I think. So I'm really pleased that I have gone back to do something simple. And the main reason, there are multiple, but the main one is I think it's easier to appreciate the hand-dyed quality of the yarn more when it's in stockinette. And I don't know if it's going to come up on camera.
Okay, I can slightly appreciate it. Yeah. In
real life, it is so beautiful. That was definitely being lost with the brioche. But with this, it's just, I can't stop staring at it. It's just so, like, the light and dark, like, bright greens in it is, like, very subtle, but just incredibly beautiful. And I love this. I can't, like, so yeah, I've gone sort of, I've done both sleeves and I'm on the body.
Oh, look at you carrying through that.
Oh my God. This yarn is so beautiful.
And excited about the project compared to when you were talking about the brioche one. And I didn't
mind, but I like this.
It was the right decision. And I'm also like a huge advocate for, especially for like with special yarn and really nice yarn, choosing a simple pattern so that you can appreciate the yarn. Yeah.
Yeah. This is the combination of metal needles and this yarn, which is like the perfect like Goldilocks zone of like soft and a little bit grippy. It knits so quickly. It's just like the most pleasurable like yarn to use. This would be the most incredible Colorwork yarn, except for the fact that they're sold in like 200 gram hanks.
Yeah.
Which is a shame because otherwise I think it would be incredible. Can I tell you about my one like modification that I've made to the pattern?
Yeah, obviously. Go. Oh, I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you.
I'm nervous.
No.
Because if I muck it up and I've ruined it.
You're not going to muck it up though. I feel like that's a really straightforward steek. Like you're not going. There's no horizontal component to that, right?
Nope, it'll be fine.
So you're going to be so fine.
It's just meant that I'm on the body knitting like stockinette in the round, and it is flying, and it's such a pleasurable experience.
And it'll end up so much neater as well because you won't have like the pearls.
That was it.
And it'll look so much better, and it'll be so much faster. I went to like a knitting cafe thing in Melbourne a while ago, and I was sitting next to this lady who was like the biggest advocate for steeking cardigans. And she said she looks at she said she doesn't even care what yarn it is. She's like, it'll be a mohair yarn and I'll still steek it. And I was sort of like, that is much better than but you'll be fine.
So I bought some like ribbon that I'm going to like, the plan is like after I steek it, I'll like cover it with this ribbon.
Oh yeah.
So I thought that was
great idea.
So we'll see how that works. But stay tuned for adventures in steeking. But I think so far I'm very validated in that like thing. So I basically followed the pattern up until I'd finished the neck shaping. Then I did a few rows and then I just cast on like 5 bridge stitches.
Perfect. Nailed it.
I think I just really want to own this. I've been saying this for, probably months now. I'm like, I just really want to own that green cardigan. soon.
It's going to be soon. I feel like you're powering through. You're so close.
Well, at the rate I'm going, I might get like 1 or 2 wears out of it before it's too hot.
Oh, no. It's Melbourne. It'll be fine.
That's true. Have you got anything else? Show me some whips.
What whips do I have? Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. So, firstly, I have one whip which is not exciting, which I'm just going to mention briefly. It is the socks that I was making Jacob. I haven't really been working on them much. I don't know. I just had more exciting things to work on. So I've been working on them. But I have another beanie that I'm making. I'm just in my hat era. I don't know. I'm making the Andrew Gorn beanie, the ribbed one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And basically, this is just purely I want the finished object. Basically, especially when I was in Norway and Stockholm, I kept seeing all these like cute beanies that just fit really nicely. They're a bit chunky, and I've just been really loving these like darker autumn colours. So basically, I went to Uniqlo and I was like, oh, I really want that, but it was, kind of, I just can't justify buying any knitted stuff.
You've ruined for life.
Then Jacob, really enabling. It's like, why don't you just knit that? Why don't you just knit that? And so then I, next minute I'm going and buying some yarn. Also, the place we were staying in Copenhagen was next door to a really beautiful yarn shop. So what do you expect? So I'm knitting it out of Knitting for Olive because, that's just really easy to pick up from next door now.
I just nipped next door and got some Knitting for Olive.
Truly. It was like the biggest yarn shop that had Izzy yarn, Knitting for Olive, like anything that you could possibly want. I'm knitting in Knitting for Olive, heavy merino and soft silk mohair in these two dark green colors. I have the exact colorways. The heavy merino is in slate green, which is interesting because it's got like a slight marling to it, and I have this in slate grey as well, and that's what I made Jacob's. Yeah. And actually, I never looked at the colorway, but I see the resemblance kind of. Like it's literally just the green version, which is big. And then
I've been off to make myself a jumper out of that because like I love that color.
It's so good.
That's like,
it's your dream. Oh, and this color is called bottle green, which is a very appropriate name.
Yeah.
So it's making this fabric. I feel like it's coming up a lot lighter on camera because of my lighting situation, but it's probably more like that color. And can we just appreciate how cute my little stitch marker is that I got from where is it? I got it from a yarn festival I went to in Lille with Mathilde. It's really cute.
Oh yeah.
Just so I actually only started this yesterday, technically. It's going really fast. I'm knitting it on 5mm needles. I actually started knitting the Pearl Soho classic ribbed hat, which is Lave. And I don't know why. So like I actually cast that on and started knitting it on 5.5mm needles. Wasn't happy with how it was looking. Thought maybe it's because it's on too big of a needle. Ripped it back. Like I'd gotten this far, ripped it back, knitted it on 5mm needles. Still wasn't really happy. Ripped it back, and now on 5mm doing this ribbed one, and this I'm much happier with. So I think it was just the pattern. Like I just had a vision in my head from after I went to Uniqlo, hilariously, and this is what I wanted.
No, I feel like recreating exactly like the garment that you see or you want is like the most satisfying thing.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I mean with like the little day trips and stuff that Jacob and I have been doing, I've been having like my knitting in my bag and doing it on the train. So I think that's probably partly why I've been making that kind of progress.
Yeah. Right.
But yeah, I mean, apart from, because I'm still kind of finishing off the stone bind off of that other one, those are kind of like really my only two whips. So I can't believe I forgot this. You're going to be so upset that I really didn't bring this up. All right.
Well, at least you're doing it so now.
Okay. I'm knitting a Colorwork sweater as well. So I just completely forgot about. Not a very transportable knit. So I haven't worked on it since I was in Norway, which was about 2 weeks ago. This is the start. Can you appreciate it? It's beautiful.
Oh my God, that's so pretty. Great colours.
It's got lots of colours, and you can see I didn't appreciate in the pattern when I bought the pattern, but it's got like little pearl stitches now and again.
Yeah.
So it gives it
like
a little bit of texture
as well.
It's called the Lunenburg Pullover by Amy Christophers. In her sample, she uses very similar colours, but she doesn't have the red in it. She has like a dark green in it. I just wanted something with a bit of red, and the vision that I had for this is like a kind of slate grey or dark grey mild body with like accents in these other sort of colours. So I'm knitting it in Rauma Finull, which again just came on the road when I was in Norway. And I think I actually showed you this yarn when I did like a little show and tell in our last vid.
Yeah.
But I'm just knitting it out of those colours.
Nice. Yes, you did show me this because I was like, oh, so beautiful.
Colours. I also bought a navy blue, but I opted to take that out because I thought it looked better with just these, and also with the number of colours that you needed for the jumper. Like I bought one extra colour. So yeah.
Nice.
I really want to make a pair of like cool Christmas socks. And Renard Ondomi, which she's on Instagram, she had like a little stall at this knitting festival I went to with Mathilde and Lil. She had her stand there, and I posted on Instagram like the beautiful Colorwork socks that she has, and she's releasing like the most amazing Christmas Colorwork sock pattern with like a little gingerbread man popping out of his Christmas stocking, and I'm just 100% making those, but I don't have yarn for it yet, and so I'm going Thursday with Matilda. We're both going to pick up yarn and make it. So that's the plan.
That sounds very seasonally appropriate, and I am like happy that you're in a like Christmassy part of the world where you can like really revel in your Christmasness.
It's so Christmassy already, so yeah, I'm loving it.
So I only did these this morning, but I have two. One is tiny, one is a bit more substantial.
Ooh.
These are my swatches for my I want to do like I can't remember if I told you. I can't remember if I talked about it. I'm planning, you know that Sézane top which is like stripy and it's got like the Henley, like it's like one of their like most common things. Yes, I want to recreate that.
Yes.
And so I bought some Knitting for Olive cotton merino, and so I've got two here. This is where I've held it double, and this is where I've held it single, because I'm trying to decide which is going to be best if I do it in a DK weight or a fingering weight. For like, you know, like raglan, quite oversized. I probably won't do the big billowy sleeves because I can't stand a billowy, like a balloon sleeve. But like essentially, yeah, just like a raglan with a Henley neck. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I think it's tricky. If it's going to be oversized, okay, when I'm looking at the swatches and I'm imagining it, I want to say fingering. But as soon as you say oversized, I'm thinking the DK, because I feel like I don't know if the fabric will be like a little bit, because it's got cotton in it, yeah? I don't know if it'll suit being oversized if it's got a bit of like stiffness to it.
This is the softest thing I've ever felt.
Oh, then definitely.
It's like I just can't stop. Like it feels really, really soft.
Then the fingering.
I think that I was like, I don't know if it's too like the stitch definition. I'm also mindful that this will take 100 million years.
Yeah, but who cares?
But it does feel incredibly beautiful. So and if I did DK, there's more pattern options available. Like I won't have to like modify patterns as much as if I did fingering. But this would be the classiest thing I've ever seen in my life if I did this. And I'm just really not sure. I think I can't lose.
You can't lose, but I think your heart wants the fingering. And I think you're wanting me to convince you want DK because it'll do it.
I don't know. Like, it's still, like, very early. I think I just need to look at them for a little bit longer and weigh it up.
So cute. I think I just need to stare at them and just see which one calls my name out in the middle of the night at 2 a.m.
Yeah, essentially. But overall, I'm very into this yarn. Love it a lot. It just feels so soft. And I blocked these and there was no colour running, which I was initially quite concerned about. So reassured on that front. I just need to decide if this is going to take 1 month or 1 year, essentially. Anyway, it's a challenge for another day because I want to get a few other things off the needles first. But I thought I'd just like treat myself with a little swatch and see how it goes. So if anyone has any like strong thoughts or like opinions or suggestions about how I might make this decision easier for myself, please pop them in the comments. Thanks.
I have a sewing adjacent thing, which I don't know if it's really appropriate for the podcast, to be honest, but I need to show you anyway, and maybe the others might want to see.
I co-opt it with sewing stuff all the time.
No, but it's because it's sewing adjacent. You might be wondering, Paige, what do you mean? I went to MiniMe Paris, which basically is like a bag sewing workshop. Jacob gifted this to me for my 30th birthday, which is in January, so early. And basically, they have all this dead stock, like big house fashion brands like Chanel and Hermes, all this dead stock tweed. And you go, you pick your fabric, you pick what style of bag you want to make, and they basically, you make it from scratch. So you start off with all like the fabric, and they give you like pattern, like the pattern squares and everything, and you bond it in like a Cricut machine and then cut the pieces and sew it to like the puffy stuff. I don't know any of these technical names, but sew it to like the puffy stuff you use for quilting. Is that called batting?
Yeah.
What I'm talking about.
What are you batting?
That stuff, the puffy stuff. You sew it to the puffy stuff, and then stitch together essentially. There are like a couple of steps where they have dressmakers in the store who do sew up bits for you, because like they advertise it as you can go with zero sewing experience, and depending on like how much sewing you've done before, they'll help you, or you can do it independently. But there's one part where like putting in the base, there's like a bit of cardboard in here, and I think they don't want breaking a million needles sewing the cardboard in, so they sew the cardboard for you, and they also stitch the lining in for you, because like you pick up which lining you want based on if you want like an internal, so I've just stuffed it, but if you want like an internal zip or not.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, you pick out your chain, you clamp in the rivets yourself, you, like, hammer these in yourself. Like, it's pretty amazing. You can, like, go to the, like, little charm area and you can pick out all these, like, little cute, like, pins and charms that you want to put on. And I'm obsessed with it. I don't know if you can, like...
It's the most Paige thing I think I've ever seen in my life.
I'm obsessed with it, and I've really like wanted a cool tweed bag like that as well. I think it's really cool. I made it in Paris. It's awesome, and like the tweed fabrics that you can pick from are amazing. Yeah, that's all I had to show. I don't know if you have anything extra.
Nope, that's it for me.
I'm really sorry, but I do have to go because we have to go to this exhibition thing in the city.
I also have to go and like do something mundane, like cook dinner or something. I don't know. But yes, look, I'm so pleased for you. Have a lovely day.
Thank you so much. I miss you. We should chat again soon.
Sounds good.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
See ya.